Welcome to the video on how to edit preferences inside of your KPI in OpSource Analytics. In our first video, we created a KPI based on the network metrics data set, which displayed the outgoing bandwidth from our configuration out to the public internet by date. I've taken the liberty of using the metric wizard to create 3 other KPIs inside this dashboard page to better illustrate some of the edit features you'll have available to you once you create your KPIs. So let's get to it. In the upper right hand corner we have a series of buttons here. The first one is the Edit Preferences button. By clicking on Edit Preferences, I essentially can revisit the choices I made inside the metric wizard when I created the KPI. So I can change from the question 2, the data shown from maximum average megabit per second out, to some other piece of data, say average megabit per second in data. And the graph will automatically update and change that piece. So I'm going to change that to average megabit per out. I can also change how this is shown either by month, year, or date. So if I wanted to go back to an hourly view, I can make that change here on the fly. And I can change the timestamp. So rather than looking at last month, if I want to look at the current month's worth of data, I can change that piece out and show it that way. And I can change the chart type from the final question we answered. You've called, we can do line charts and bar charts and other choices here. I have to be able to make those changes also once I'm doing my KPI. So let's go back to original settings. And there's one area that we did not discuss in the initial video, which is this button. If you go to the pencil and the Customize feature, the Customize feature allows you to make a few other changes to the look and feel of the charts inside your KPI. First off, you can change the chart title by clicking on Title. You can change the title. So if I want to remove the by date from this section over here that's placed just above the chart, I can delete that in the text here, click OK, and it will update my graph on the fly to make that change for me. Secondly, I can change the bottom axis. Right now we see the dates displayed horizontally along the x-axis on the bottom hand side. If I want to change that to a vertical label and make that a 90 degree, I can click OK and make that change as I go along in this graph. Third, I can change really the colors. So if I'm not happy with the fill color here of green and I wish to change that to red, I can hit OK and make that change. It will automatically update here. And finally, I can change the chart height. Right now, the height of this graph is set to 300 pixels. If I want to make the graph a little bit larger in terms of the y-axis, the ability to see how things are changing inside that chart, I can raise that to 400 pixels and make that change. So that takes you to the first control, which is essentially all available to you originally in the metric wizard. The nice thing to know is that after you use the metric wizard, you have the ability to go and make changes to how that KPI displays on your dashboard page. So don't spend too much time tweaking out on the settings inside Metric Wizard. You can move the data onto your dashboard page, get your KPI set up, and then change the look and feel of them afterwards. A couple of interesting buttons here. The up button and down button essentially allow me to change where this KPI is placed in the column it's in inside the dashboard page. So right now I have critical disk alerts on the bottom, max average megabit out on the top. If I wish to move this down, I can click the down button and it will automatically update my dashboard page and move it there. And similarly, I can click the up button to reverse those trends. And I also have the ability to minimize. If I want to stop viewing this KPI for some period of time or just be able to open it when I want, I can close this. The next time I log into analytics, it will appear the same way, and I can always click on restore to restore and view that data back. Similarly, you have the ability, this graph is a little bit crowded now because of I've put it in the narrow column here in terms of KPI metrics. A lot of data displayed here. I have the ability to hit the maximize button, bring up a separate page, and have that graph with a much larger screen space that lets me better see how the data is plated and plotted across that piece. I'm going to click restore to return back to that piece. And finally, last but not least, I have the ability to delete this KPI entirely. If I hit the remove button, it will remove it off the dashboard page once and for all. So those give you a quick run through of the various inline settings for KPI. If you look back in the help section, there's separate videos that will go over how we can edit content settings that let us change the look and feel of the dashboard page as a whole and how to create and edit different page settings inside. So take a look at the other videos on that piece, and we'll look forward to seeing you there.